Hey guys, what's up? It's Matt Lane, and welcome back to another episode of Bloodborne Bosses. In today's episode, we're going to be covering one of the optional bosses known as Amygdala. Some people call it Amygdala because that's part of the human brain, but one of the NPCs in the game actually says Amygdala, so I'm going to stick with that. I would like to think if you've survived this area up until this point to where you've reached the boss, that you'll probably be able to handle it, since this is literally one of the most annoying, unforgiving areas in the game just because it's riddled with poison everywhere. But nonetheless, if you're watching this video, you probably want to know some tips and tricks on how to handle this boss. So without further ado, let's start with some preparation on how to handle this fight. As I've stated in previous videos, if you've watched any of them, there are two types of paper. You have fire and bolt. Fire is strong against anything that is a beast, and bolt is strong against anything that is a great one. This boss being a great one, that is what we're going to use here, as it will do extra damage. Another good item to have on hand, if you have any, is to use your bone marrow ash. This simply just amplifies the amount of damage that your gunshots or whatever sidearm you're holding does. You don't necessarily do this for damage per se, but we're actually going to use it for another reason, but we'll get into that. So let's look at how to handle Amygdala. The biggest annoyance of this fight by far is just the reach. This is probably one of the biggest bosses that you'll fight in the game in terms of size. Its body and head is also really high off of the ground, and its feet and tail do not take a lot of damage. They have a lot of super defense on there, so it can be really frustrating when you're first learning this boss on how to really know how to damage it. There's really only one true weak spot the boss has, and that's its head. Which brings me to the point I made about the bone marrow ash. If enough damage is done to the head, it will actually cause the boss to be stunned, and you can go in and get a visceral attack, which obviously will do a lot more damage than anything else you were doing. The only problem with this is that this boss's head also takes a lot of damage before it can be stunned, which is why I suggest using bone marrow ash so that you don't use 20 bullets just to get it to stun one time. If it tells you anything, I use a total of 4 bone marrow ashes and some extra bullets on top of that just to get the boss to stun one time. It's not something you're going to do a lot, but by the time I did get the actual visceral to take place, it got the boss down to half health, near about. So to me, that was definitely worth it. After you use that method, the real big key to the fight is going to be patience and moving side to side without stopping. What you want to be looking for are any of the boss's slam attacks. You want to do a quick dodge so you don't get caught by the attack itself, and then you want to immediately rush in as quick as you can, because this is one of the few moments that this boss will actually have the head within reach of your weapon to actually hit it. And once you do that, just get in as many hits as you can, and then back up and then repeat. Pretty much just move side to side, strafe, dodge when attacks are coming, and then as soon as this boss does any sort of slam attack and you have successfully dodged it, you just need to be ready to run in as quick as you can, because there's not a very large window to hit the boss's head. It's not an insanely difficult boss fight, but it is a very specific boss fight, as there are only a really few amount of things you can do to damage it. So if you don't know what you're doing, this could be a very long boss fight. Because if you just sit there and swing at its legs all day, you're going to be there for quite a long time. I know the boss has several phases, but to me, none of them really seem that different as far as the fight schematic, so you really don't have to change your tactic at any point of the fight. You pretty much just constantly want to be looking for any sort of slam attack to where the boss puts their head on the ground, and then go for the kill. And similar stated with bullets, once you hit the boss's head enough, it will also stun again. Conveniently for mine, it stunned right as the boss was almost dead, so I actually got a visceral for the kill, which is always oh so satisfying with a boss. That's really it for this boss fight. Just try to go in with a few bone marrow ashes right out the gate and get that stun so you can get at least one parry in. And then just make sure to be patient, strafe around, wait for a slam attack, and then go in to get some hits on the head with your bolt paper equipped, of course, to do that extra amount of damage so you can get every little hit you can while the head is down. If you follow those steps, you should have no problems taking down Amygdala. Now that's it for this episode. Please like, comment, and subscribe for anything about anything. I will be more than happy to answer any questions that you may have. Make sure to stay tuned for the next episode when we discuss the One Reborn, probably the grossest boss in the game. As always, thanks for watching, and we will see you guys next time.